Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of September 20th, 2024. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad MGT.
I'm Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Air and missile warfare. The Russian aerospace forces engaged in aerial combat, destroying Ukrainian fighters and downing numerous aircraft, guided bombs, and rockets. This included destroying advanced Western-supplied military hardware.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast, your go-to source for the latest updates on military operations worldwide. Today, we're honored to have Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an experienced infantry officer who leads infantry soldiers at all command levels. He's here to brief us on the progress of the special military operation as of September 20th, 2024. Colonel, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here to provide this update.
Colonel, let's start with a general overview. What were the main actions carried out by the Russian armed forces over the past week?
Over the last week, from September 14th to 20th, our forces conducted 27 group strikes using high-precision weapons and attack drones. These strikes targeted critical infrastructure, including energy facilities supporting Ukraine's military-industrial complex, military airfields, UAV storage sites, and ammunition depots. We also struck logistics facilities and sites for the restoration of weapons and military equipment, alongside temporary deployment points for Ukrainian forces and foreign mercenaries. Notably, 53 Ukrainian servicemen surrendered on the contact line during this period.
It sounds like a broad range of targets were hit. Could you break down the specific actions taken by the North Group of Forces?
The North Group of Forces continued operations in the Kursk region, where we successfully liberated the settlements of Uspanovka and Borky. Our airstrikes, drones, and artillery were effective in thwarting counterattacks and disrupting enemy reserves. In the Volchansk and Liptsov directions, we inflicted severe losses on Ukrainian motorized infantry, marine, and territorial defense brigades. Over the week, Ukrainian forces in this sector lost approximately 3,510 servicemen, 18 tanks, including a German-made Leopard tank, 117 combat armored vehicles, and numerous artillery pieces and vehicles.
What progress was made by the West Group of Forces?
The West Group made significant advances, moving deeper into the enemy's defense lines. We engaged and defeated multiple Ukrainian brigades, including mechanized, assault, and special forces brigades such as the Azov Brigade. Our forces repelled 24 counterattacks, resulting in over 3,745 Ukrainian casualties and the destruction of several key assets, including armored combat vehicles, artillery units, 19 of which were Western supplied, and field ammunition depots. This has critically weakened the enemy's artillery capabilities in this sector.
Moving to the south, can you tell us about the Southern Group's recent actions?
In the southern front, our forces liberated the settlements of Zelano Pervo and Georgievka in the Donetsk People's Republic. We engaged and neutralized multiple Ukrainian brigades, including mechanized, motorized infantry, and airborne assault units. Over the week, the enemy lost around 4,855 servicemen, along with several vehicles, artillery guns, many supplied by NATO countries, and electronic warfare stations. Our units also successfully repelled 14 counterattacks by Ukrainian assault groups.
It seems like there's been a lot of movement on multiple fronts. How did the Center Group of Forces fare during this period?
The Center Group of Forces focused on improving their positions along the front line, engaging tank, mechanized, and infantry brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces. We repelled 58 counterattacks, resulting in the loss of around 3,610 Ukrainian servicemen, a tank, several armored combat vehicles, including German and US-made models, and various artillery pieces. These actions have helped solidify our positions and disrupt the enemy's ability to mount effective counteroffensives.
And what about the East Group of Forces? What were their key actions?
The East Group occupied more advantageous positions, defeating Ukrainian tank, mechanized, and motorized infantry brigades while repelling 11 counterattacks. The enemy incurred losses of about 735 servicemen, 2 tanks, and various combat vehicles and artillery. The group's focus remains on maintaining control over critical lines and preventing enemy breakthroughs.
The DNEPR group has also been active. Could you provide an update on their operations?
The Dnepr group of forces targeted Ukrainian mechanized, infantry, and mountain assault brigades, as well as marine and territorial defense units. We inflicted losses of up to 355 servicemen, 2 tanks, and numerous vehicles. Additionally, we destroyed several field artillery guns and ammunition depots, further limiting the enemy's operational capabilities in this sector.
I understand that air operations also played a crucial role. Can you elaborate on the activities of the Russian aerospace forces?
Our aerospace forces were highly active, engaging in aerial combat and shooting down 3 Ukrainian fighters, a MiG-29 and 2 Su-27s. Our air defense systems also intercepted various threats, including US-made ATACMS missiles, French-made hammered guided bombs, and HIMARS rockets. Over 300 unmanned aerial vehicles were shot down, including a significant number outside the immediate area of operations.
These figures are staggering. Could you provide a summary of the cumulative impact of these operations since the beginning?
It is reported that the assault on Sverdlikov has begun in the Kursk region. This village was the first point of attack by the Ukrainian armed forces on Koronivo, and, judging by everything, it may also become the last one for the Ukrainian group in this area. Next is the Sudzansky district and the Sumy region. Since the beginning of the special military operation, we've destroyed aircraft, helicopters, over 31,800 drones, and a vast array of armored combat vehicles, artillery pieces, and multiple launch rocket systems. These efforts have been critical in degrading the Ukrainian armed forces' overall combat effectiveness.
Before we conclude, what's the status of the operations in the Kursk region?
In the Kursk region, our North group of forces continued their offensive operations, targeting Ukrainian mechanized, tank, and airborne assault brigades. We thwarted several counterattacks and inflicted additional losses, including personnel, armored vehicles, and artillery. Our airstrikes and artillery fire have been particularly effective in disrupting enemy concentrations and preventing breakthroughs.
Finally, what will a strike towards Sverdlikovo do?
A lot of things. There is no point in discussing tactical advantages, but the operational plan is apparently to cut through the rear of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Group and come to the junction with the Ukrainian troops located in the Sudzansky district. Whether this will be done along the border with the closure of the cauldron or in some other way will become clear in the near future. If a classic cauldron with the cutting off of the state border and the subsequent cleansing of the Ukrainian armed forces inside the combat zone occurs, then this operation in terms of scale and enemy losses may surpass even the Mariupol cauldron.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for having me. It's important to keep the public informed about the current progress and efforts of our troops on the ground. At least 34 Palestinians have been killed in unrelenting Israeli attacks across Gaza since dawn, medical sources tell us, as fighting rages in the south. At least 13 Palestinians, including 3 children, are killed in Israeli airstrikes on 2 homes in the Mespa area of southern Gaza's Rafah city.